Hey, you guys, let me double check and make sure that I'm live everywhere that I want to be live. And as you guys come on into this live, make sure that you say hi, hello, hey, all that awesome stuff. So I can see those of you that are joining us in this conversation. And so, you guys, whether or not you're catching this live, if you're catching this live, say, hey, let me know that you're here. If you're catching this on the replay, I want you to type in hashtag replay, leave your questions, your comments, all that awesome stuff, and I will definitely make sure that I go back and that I respond back to your comments on the replay. And so I think I'm live everywhere that I want to be live. If not, charge it to my head and not to my heart. And so, you guys, I'm super excited to be on here once again. If you are on here, definitely make sure that you say hi, hello, hey, so that I can see those of you that are on here. And those of you that are new to my space, welcome. My name is Beverly Walthour. I am a business strategist, specifically for established Christian female coaches and service providers for coaches who desire to accelerate their impact and their income by implementing both kingdom and business principles. And so, you guys, I'm super excited about the conversation that we're having today. And so, you guys, as you're coming on in here, definitely make sure that you tag some people, especially some believers. Hey, Anita, I see you. You guys definitely make sure that you tag some believers in business, because I want to have this conversation with you guys. And then I'm going to pop on off here and go on to have another meeting after this conversation. And so, you guys, over the weekend, actually on Saturday, I'm sitting in my bed. So, whatever time I woke up on Saturday, and literally, I'm sitting in my bed right before I was getting ready to pick up my my stuff for my devotional. And so literally I felt my house moving, like it was shaking like this. And I'm like, because I live in Atlanta, I live in Metro Atlanta. So once again, literally I felt that my house shaking. And I'm like, is that an earthquake? And the only reason I recognized it as an earthquake is because probably, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago here in Atlanta, and I remember this also clearly. I remember one night right before I went to bed, I was like, God, I need a move from you. Like I literally said, God, I need a move from you were my exact words. And so literally in the middle of the night, there was an earthquake. And that was the first time, if I've experienced any other earthquake in my life, in my 47 years, I did not know about it. So once again, a couple of years ago here in Atlanta was the first time I had ever experienced an earthquake. And that earthquake, I was asleep. And that one woke me up out of my sleep. And like I said, but I had asked God for literally a move from him. I didn't know he was going to literally move the earth in order for me to experience the move that he had for me. But I remember that. So that's how come when it happened on Saturday, I knew what it was. And I recognized the fact that it was an earthquake here in Atlanta. And so, like I said, on Saturday, so today at the time of this recording, it's Monday. So once again, on Saturday, like I said, I literally felt my house shake. And that time I knew it was an earthquake. So I went downstairs, like to look outside to see if anybody else, there were people like wandering around outside, looking around and stuff like that. I didn't see anybody else. I was like, well, okay, maybe, I'm like, okay, well, no, it didn't seem to concern anybody, and it wasn't big or huge. It didn't knock anything over or anything like that. Like I said, it just felt like a rumbling. It reminded me of, there have been, like when we've had storms, like, just thunderstorms, the rumble like that, like that's what it felt like. Like I've had, where it's been thunderstorms, where it's been lightning and it shook the house, so that's about the equivalent of the earthquake that we had here in Atlanta, at least in my area. So I text some friends who live in Metro Atlanta. They were like, we didn't feel anything. So once again, it depended upon where you are. But I want to have this conversation with my believers in business, because one of the things that God dropped in my spirit about this earthquake. So I want to have this conversation with you guys based on that conversation and based on that experience. And so the actual earthquake, I think, originated like in Tennessee or something like that. So it was in Tennessee when we had that. Hey, I see you, Rakita, over there on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, over there on Instagram. And so, the earthquake originated in Tennessee. So, not even in my, not next door or whatever, it's in the next state. And so this is what I felt like God gave me when it came to that earthquake. And I want to have this conversation with my believers in business. And so that earthquake originated someplace else, but it was felt here. Hey, Tate. But it was felt here in Georgia, so miles away. And so I want to have this conversation with my believers in business, Because one of the things that I felt like God gave me after that earthquake was the fact that as believers in business, it is time for us to shake things up, especially us as believers in business and especially in the marketplace. It is time for us to shake things up. I believe this with everything in my being, especially us as believers in business. Because my thing is when you take that gifting and anointing that God has placed in your life when it comes to the marketplace, it's supposed to shake things up. Literally, the earth is supposed to move when your presence is there. And so once again, when you are in that space, so whether or not you're consulting with this Fortune 100 company, whether or not you're doing a one-on-one session with a client, whatever capacity, whether or not you're doing some type of live event, whether or not it's your own or whether or not you're speaking there, whether or not you're doing that speaking virtually, it does not matter. If you are walking in that capacity in the marketplace, you're supposed to leave an impact. You're supposed to have an impact. People are literally supposed to feel your presence in the room. And this is the thing, because we are believers, it should have a ripple effect. Just like the earthquake that happened in Tennessee, we felt it all the way here in Georgia. And it's the same thing. I tell my people as believers in business, it's supposed to have a ripple effect. There are people in the next generation to the second and third generation that's supposed to feel the impact of your presence in the marketplace. People are supposed to feel your presence. And once again, for some people, they're going to encounter your physical presence, and they're going to be like, I don't know what it is. It's just something about you. It's just something about you. And you may smile, you may chuckle because you know what it is. And I always say this to people, even if the people that you serve are not believers, that part does not matter. It's about you. It's about what you do when it comes to the obedience. When it comes to the products and the services that you put out there, when it comes to the messaging, when it comes to how you position yourself and all of those things, that's the part that matters. Is it in alignment, in obedience with what it is and how it is that God has called for you to move in the marketplace? That's the part that's important. Are you walking in that obedience? And so I just want to have this conversation with you guys quickly. Once again, I want to challenge you guys, when it comes to what it is that you offer. I want you to shake things up in the marketplace when it comes to your offers. I know for a lot of us, sometimes we kind of emulate what we've already seen in the marketplace. Hey, they're doing it this way, or hey, I was in a program and it was structured like this, or it looked like this, so on and so forth. But I want to challenge you to shake up your offers, the things that it is that you're offering, in the sense of, is it in alignment with how it is that God has told you to show up in the marketplace? What it is that you're offering. For some of you guys, you're like, well, Bev, this is not what it looks like in the industry. This is not how people are talking about it in the industry. This is not what it looks like. This is not what it sounds like. This is not the quote unquote proper way of doing things, or the way that people are used to doing things and seeing things. But once again, God gave it to you that way for a reason. So it's okay if it does not look like what the rest of the market is used to. Shake it up with your offers and be okay with that. But for some of you guys, that means it's going to be a level of, I'm going to use the word exposure, and I may change it a little bit later, because that means there may be some things you're going to have to talk about that you may not have wanted to talk about. But God gave you that unique way of doing things for a reason, because it is a group of people who need it, and they need to hear it the way that only you can give it. They need to be able to have that product or that service in such a way where only you can do it. And it's okay. So once again, do not be afraid of shaking things up in your industry when it comes to what it is that you offer. Do not be afraid of that. It's okay if it looks different. It's okay if it sounds different. It's okay if you're the only one in your industry that's saying it like that and that it looks that way. It's okay. Okay, so that's the first place where I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you when it comes to what it is that you're offering, especially if God is giving it to you in a certain way. And like I said, it may not look like the rest of the industry. And then some of you guys, you're like, well, babe, I don't want to put it out there because somebody else is doing something similar. Well, that one person can't service everybody. And if God gave it to you that way, then that means that there's people out there that need to be able to hear it in the way that only you can deliver it. So sometimes we don't put a thing out there because once again, it looks like someone else's, but that someone else doesn't have the level of anointing and gifting that you do. They're not called to serve the same people. And so even if that's the case, it's okay. Put it out there. And I'm going to challenge you with this. For the rest of this month, at the time of this recording, is May the 12th, at the time of this particular recording, I want to challenge you to put your offers out there every single day for the rest of this month. Let's just start with the month of May. Let's just start with the month of May. Let people know every single day for the rest of the month of May about your products or your services. Well, babe, I just posted it yesterday, so I don't want them to get tired of it. People are not going to see your whatever you post every single day. They don't see it on a daily. So once again, let that idea go that people see your stuff every single day. They don't. So every single day, talk about your product or your services. Let people know what it is that you have to offer and what it is that they need to do to get access to the thing. Okay? So every single day, I want to challenge you with that every single day. Okay? So we have that part. The next thing I want to challenge you with is to shake things up in the marketplace when it comes to your pricing. For some of you guys, if you would just shift your pricing and get your pricing in alignment with what it is and how it is that God has told for you to show up in the marketplace, it would look so different. Right now, I have my cohort 10 and cohort 11 of my revenue accelerator. And I don't know how many times I've heard women in both of those cohorts talking about their pricing in the sense of a price that God has given them, and they have not quite started selling it at that price point. All I can do is encourage them to get it in alignment. Well, Pam, they're not buying at the lower price point. How are they going to buy it at the higher price point? They're not buying it at the lower price point because it's not in alignment, or they're not buying it consistently. Let me say it like that. They're not buying it consistently. So you present it at the higher price point and someone go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And then you lower the price, or you go through and you create something that's cheaper to satisfy them. Well, babe, for those people who can't afford, but did God tell you to create that offer, or did you create that offer out of lack, out of desperation? We don't want to do that. You want to ensure that you're creating and that you're offering products and services in alignment with what it is that God has told you to do in the marketplace at this time. So I want you to keep that in mind. So when it comes to your pricing, let's ensure that your pricing is in alignment. Once again, this is one of the biggest areas that I support my clients is getting their pricing in alignment. It is nothing like offering something for $1,500. You and I have a conversation. In that conversation, we take that same offer that you had that you were offering for $1,500. We offer it for $5,000 because we position it and we position your messaging as well. And now you sell two of those things within 48 hours, where you weren't even selling it at the $1,500 price point. Why weren't you selling at the $1,500 price point? Because it was not in alignment. Once we get it in alignment and people see the value in that, although they weren't purchasing that $1,500 because you weren't talking to them. At that $1,500 price point, you weren't even talking to them. But once you put it in alignment, that price point in alignment, and your messaging in alignment, now you're talking to them. Now they're saying, okay, yeah, babe, now you're talking to me. What do I need to do next? So do not be afraid to shake things up when it comes to the pricing of your services out here in the marketplace. You know how I'm going to roll, Dr. Anita? Let's get our pricing in alignment and watch what happens. So you guys, that's the second thing that I want to challenge you to shake things up in the marketplace when it comes to your pricing. The third thing, let's shake it up with our messaging. We sound too much like the rest of the world. We don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to have people challenge us in our comments. So we sound like the rest of them. But the unique way that God gave you to speak about your products or your services in the marketplace, that story that he's been telling you to share it and watch what happens. You're going to repel people where that's just not in alignment with them, and that is perfectly fine. And you're going to attract those people that are just like, yes, somebody finally gets it. Someone finally sees me. Somebody finally hears me. I'm not the only one. So do not be afraid to talk about it in the way that God has given it to you. even if it does not sound like everyone else, even if it goes against some of the most popular people in your industry that are saying it a certain way, that are doing it in a certain way. God has given it to you in that way for a reason and a purpose. He knows that it's someone that needs to hear it in that way. And that has been one of the biggest things with my accelerators that we've been talking about is that messaging. And they will tell you, they were like, oh my gosh, God has me telling stories that I did not think I was going to be telling. You know, God, I'm like, God, you sure? God, why now? But God knows why he needs that story out in the marketplace right now. He knows that there's people out there that need to hear it in the way that he gave it to you right now. And like I said, will there be some people where they're going to be like, oh, that's not right. That's not how this works. Yes, the people question Jesus. So it's okay. You have to be so firmly rooted in what it is that he's told you to do and how it is that he's told you to do a thing that when someone comes up and asks you questions or challenges you, you're so sure and so steadfast in what it is that he said that it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And that's one of the things. So I did a soft launch of my coach's workday, which we're doing here in Atlanta in June 27th. So next month. So literally about a month and a half away. And with my coach's workday, one of the things that I always say, when he first gave me the coach's workday, I did the first one back in 2019. As far as I know, once again, it could have been some folks, I don't know. But as far as I know, no one ever did a coach's workday the way that I did it. And so even now, bringing it back, and once again, I tell people this all the time, I'm not knocking what other people do, but this is what God gave me for the people that I serve, because the people that I serve, once again, they don't need a lineup of all these different speakers. They don't need all of that. They don't need the motivational speaking. They need to be able to come into a room with other believers in business, roll up their sleeves, and work on their messaging, work on their pricing, work on their sales, work on their lead generation in a space that's in person. Once again, it's something different when you're in person versus virtual. And so once again, in that right there, I'm like, okay, God, if this is what you've given me, I'm going to go with this. And so the same thing, however it is that he's given it to you, put it out there and watch what happens. I didn't even say right, God, that was supposed to be just between the two of us. God said, yeah, okay, I got you between the two of us. Watch this. And so, like I said, for those people that need to hear that message in that way, just watch what happens. Like I said, you'll have so many people that are just like, I thought I was the only one. Because that's what the enemy will have them to believe. You're the only one that's experiencing that. And it's not true. So once again, shake things up with your messaging. The way that he's given you to talk about the thing. Hey, Dr. Kai, the way that he's given you to talk about a thing, when it comes to your industry, when it comes to your product and your services, talk about it and watch what happens. So once again, do not be afraid to shake things up in the marketplace when it comes to your messaging. And then the final thing, do not be afraid to shake things up when it comes to your sales. Now, this one right here, I'm talking about believers in business. So I need you guys to lean in. You guys are way too passive. Way. Hey, Kim, I see you. Hey, I see you guys over here on Instagram. Way too passive when it comes to sales in the marketplace. And what I mean by that is there are people, they don't even know that you're in business. You don't even have your open sign on. Well, babe, I just posted about that last week. And you expected last week. When you think about the number of emails that you get in your inbox from certain companies, some of them literally will message you multiple times a day. Why don't you unsubscribe from that list? It's because it's for a reason. The same thing, those of you who have an email list, how often do you talk to the people on your email list? Now, mind you, the difference between those companies that do that and you is that you give value in your email. So once again, of course, you're not emailing your list every single day and all it says is buy my book, 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 buy my book. Yeah, nobody wants that. So yeah, I'm going to unsubscribe from that. But how about in that email, you give us a little nugget from your book? And hey, if you want more, here's the link to go buy the book. So give them some value in that email. And then once again, take that next step and ask them for the sale. Well, I'm going to do this subtly. Why? When Jesus was walking the earth and he was talking about the kingdom of heaven, he wasn't doing it subtly. He was saying the kingdom of heaven is like this. So where do we get this subtly stuff from? It was subtly, not suddenly. S-U-B-T-L. Why? Did I spell that right? T-L-E, something that. So what? Where is it that I'm gonna sell this passively? Jesus wasn't passive when he was talking about the kingdom of heaven, because he knew the kingdom of heaven, when people knew about that thing, it was going to change their life. The same thing with your product and service, or service. If you have a product or service and you don't believe it, and I'm talking to my believers in business now, specifically my coaches and my service providers, if you don't believe that what you sell is going to change someone's life or impact someone's life, their relationship, their health, their wealth, however it is that you support people, why are you offering it? Why are you offering the thing? It should be something where you're like, you know what, every single day I need to let people know what it is that I have. And some days there'll just be days where you'll just talk about it. And then there are going to be most days where you're like, hey, if you want this, because this is the thing. If you have a product, for instance, I'm ready to plug my entrepreneur line, which is coming out. We're doing the pre-sales this week. This one is abundant. So you can see this one right here. Once again, I know it's hard to see with the way that the lighting is set up. So this one is called Abundance. As you can see from the title. Once again, Abundance Green. Hey, we have this right here. Y'all know I have my flowers on the top, so you can always see that that's the signature look. Is the flower on the top. If I did not believe in this, oh my gosh, it smells so good. If I did not believe in my product, then I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to talk about it. But because I believe in this, you light this candle if you want more in your business. Light this candle if you want more in your business. So every single day I'm going to show up when we launch this for pre-sales, which is probably going to be later today or tomorrow, we'll see. Then I'm going to let people know every single day. This candle line was designed for entrepreneurs. This right here is clarity. Somebody just asked me yesterday, Bev, where can I get this right here? If there are decisions that you need to make in your business, I want you to light this candle here, clarity. This right here is spearmint and eucalyptus. It's going to clear you right on up. Going to get your head. Look. So if there are decisions that you need to make in your business, I want you to light that clarity. Once again, if you're looking for more in your business, more clients, more sales in your business, I want you to light this abundance. This one right here has frankincense, myrrh. Why do you think I chose that one for abundance? Momentum. Those of you that are procrastinators. Momentum. And you're looking to clear your to-do list. There's things that you know that you need to get done that day. Light this candle right here, momentum. And watch what happens. Those of you where you're just like, okay, God, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing next in this business right here. Or those of us that need to be reminded of why we're in the marketplace. And sometimes we're like, God, you sure I'm supposed to still be here in the marketplace? Connect back with your purpose. Connect back with your why and why he has you in the marketplace to begin with. This one right here, I have had this candle lit since Saturday, which is very interesting because that was the day that we had the earthquake here in Atlanta. And so this one has been constantly lit ever since that, actually before the earthquake even happened. Why? Because I feel like out of these 4 new ones, why is he having me light that one right now? Because of what he has me going into over these next few months. So I have to be anchored into my why and why it is that I'm doing what I'm doing. So whatever product or service you have, every single day, if you believe in what it is that you're doing, talk about the thing. So every single day over this next month and a half, you're going to see these 4 candles for the entrepreneur line. You're going to hear me talking about my coach's workday. Why? Because there are 12 people that need to be in that room come June 27th here in Atlanta, or Metro Atlanta, because it's in Marietta. You're going to hear me talking about the Favor of God Challenge that kicks off next Monday, so May the 19th at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it runs for 30 days. Why? Because there are people here who need to tap into more of what God has for them at a different level. The Favor of God 30-day challenge, we kick off on Monday, May 19th, so next Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it runs for 30 days. So those 3 things you're going to hear me talk about every single day. Why? Because I believe in what it is that God has given me. These are the things that he has given me to talk about and with my audience. So I know that means someone needs something of it. So it's the same thing. Show up every day and let people know what it is that you have. Let people know how it is that you can support them and watch what happens. So shake things up when it comes to your sales. Let people know every single day what it is that you offer, what it is that how it is that they can work with you, how it is that you can support them. So, like I said, that earthquake on Saturday, it was just such a powerful reminder for us as believers in business. It is time for us to shake things up in the marketplace. And so I'm going to invite you to do the same thing. It's time to shake things up. Hey, Unique, how are you? So you guys, it is time to shake things up when it comes to what it is that you offer to your products and services, when it comes to your pricing, when it comes to your messaging, and when it comes to your sales. So like I said, I want to challenge you guys every single day, at least for the month of May. Let people know what it is that you have to offer. Let them know how it's going to be able to support them in whatever capacity. Let them know every day. Let them know what they can do to actually get access to the thing. Well, how can I get more of that? Whatever that is that you have, whatever product or service that you have. Well, Bab, what if they get tired of it? What? Okay, you with your what if. You stay over there with your what if. But for those people who know that they have a product or a service that was designed to shift lives, that were designed to interrupt, then I'm talking to you. Have those conversations with your people. And when I tell my clients, yes, you have conversations through your content, what you post on social media, your email, but also have conversations with people. So whether or not it's on the phone, whether or not it's via email, whether or not you're in Messenger, have conversations with people every single day and watch how your sales skyrocket. So like I said, it's time to shift. It's time to shake up some things in the marketplace for us as believers in business. And so you guys, like I said, I want to hop on here. I want to challenge you with that, at least for the rest of the month of May. And just see what happens, see what shifts in you, see what shifts and changes in the people that you have been called to serve. Watch what happens. Okay. And so you guys, like I said, you're going to see me, if you want to be with me in person, June 27th for our Coaches Workday, literally with that Coaches Workday, the way that it is set up with the Coaches Workday, we're going to have these implementation labs. So it's going to be in person. The things that I teach online is going to be in person. And so, we're going to spend that entire day. We're going to have an offer and pricing lab. So we're going to have a hot seat coaching and all this. It's going to be really cool. So you're going to bring your computer with you because once again, you want to make sure it's a working session. So I want you to think about it as an actual work day. That's why I spelled it the way that I did. Capital W, capital O, capital R, capital K, D-A-Y. We're going to have a messaging and content lab. So we're going to create your messaging and we're going to actually create some content that day. We're going to have a marketing and visibility lab. So there are activities that we're going to do when it comes to your marketing, when it comes to your visibility. And then we're going to do a sales and lead generation lab. And so the goal is for you to actually, some of you are going to actually post some sales in the room. So that's going to be a powerful day. So if you want to spend a day, it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, here in the Metro Atlanta area in Marietta on June 27th. So if you're interested in that, I would love to have a conversation with you about my Coaches Workday. And then once again, we are doing pre-sales for the Entrepreneur Collection. So we have abundance, we have clarity, we have momentum, and we have purpose. So those are the four candles in the line. And then also we're doing the Favor of God Challenge. And so with that Favor of God Challenge, we're going to spend 30 days starting on Monday, May 19th at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's a whole process because I've done my Favor of God Challenge before. And the results have been amazing. Even people who have signed up, right, and we haven't even started yet, they have been experiencing God's favor in incredible ways just by signing up. Hey, Alicia, how are you? Just by signing up for the Favor of God Challenge, they've been experiencing powerful encounters with God and God's favor in such powerful and unique ways. So like I said, if you want to meet me here in Atlanta on June 27th, live in person for the Coaches Workday, I want to have a conversation with you. Or if you are interested in the pre-sale, so we're probably going to end up launching this today. So you'll see me talking about the candle line for the Entrepreneur Collection and then the Favor of God Challenge. And like I said, it's just been amazing the way that God has been moving. I shared a testimonial the other day with one of my one-on-one clients. And one of the things the ladies in my cohort 10 of my Revenue Accelerator, they have been on me about, they have just embraced prophetic business coach. And so that is something that I'm still walking, I keep going back for God. Look at God. But I also can't deny how he uses me during my coaching session. and whatever he shows me, because he will literally show me things. So the other day I shared with one of my one-on-one clients, and she was talking to me and just updating me. And, she mentioned her husband. I'm like, does your husband do da 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 da? I said, and this is what God is showing me. He's showing me. Now, I've never met this woman's husband a day in my life. I don't know what he look like. He could come to me right now and smack me in the face, and I would not know that that's her husband. But God was literally showing me things about her husband and what he was going to be doing business-wise. And she was just sitting there like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is the exact same conversation that I had with her husband. Like I said, me and her had never spoken about her husband before. I knew she was married. I just didn't know what he did. And so the downloads that God was giving me about her husband, the downloads that God was giving me about her. And then literally after we got off the call, she shot me an email. She was like, there, look at this email. $7,500 contract that she closed. And she was just, and once again, that testimonial is on my page. Just scroll through my page. And so once again, I'm going to release whatever God gives me when it comes to you and your business and your, as you can see, your style, whatever it is, and like I said, the way that he speaks to me personally. Once again, he literally shows me things, and they will tell you, I will just tell you, I see, or it will be just a phrase in my spirit that I cannot let go. And I was just like, okay, what does this mean? And I'll say it, and they know exactly what it means. And so that's the thing too, just you taking your rightful place in the marketplace, however unique way that God has given you to show up. Do not fight it. And I'm talking to myself too. Do not fight whatever it is and however it is that he's called you, that anointing that he's given you in the marketplace. Do not fight it. Just embrace it, walk in it, and watch what happens. Walk in it. Yes, Dr. Anita, I hear you. Walk in it and watch what happens. Watch. Once again, he just needs us to be the vessels here in the earth. He's asking us to be vessels in the marketplace. And so for us to be able to be those vessels in the marketplace, embrace it, embrace it, embrace it. Y'all, I'm talking to myself too. They'll embrace it. Okay. So you guys, that is all that I have for you guys today. So once again, I want you to be on the lookout. Those of you, if you want to meet me in Atlanta on June 27th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. all day, let's do it. Once again, if you're interested in the candle line, be on the lookout because we're going to go ahead and release those pre-sales. With that, the Favor of God Challenge. If you're interested in a one-on-one call with me, once again, the prophetic business coaching, that we'll do it all. We'll do it all. So once again, the way that he's calling for you to show up in the marketplace. Look, when I tell you, that Favor of God Challenge, and like I said, just every day I'm getting testimonials from people about what God is doing, and we haven't even started the challenge yet. The challenge doesn't start until Monday, May 19th. But once again, I truly believe in the obedience. So you sow the seed. So once again, you're going to reap a harvest of that seed. So the seed right now that they're sowing is a financial seed, because it is an investment for you to join the Favor of God Challenge. So once again, so you're going to reap a harvest of the financial seed that you've sown. And then now we're going to spend 30 days where you're now sowing your time and your talent as well. And so you're going to reap a harvest on all of that. So I'm telling you, that Favor of God Challenge is going to shift so much in so many people's lives and businesses and relationships and all of that good stuff. How do I know? Because I'm not new to this. We do these challenges. And specifically when we did that Favor of God Challenge before, that's one of my favorite challenges. The Favor of God Challenge, that's one, I've done many challenges, but the Favor of God, that's one of my favorite challenges. Okay. Because I just love how God just shows up in such a mighty and powerful way, because all he's asking for is our yes. When we give him our yes, everything else changes. So I'm super excited. Here's another one. Here's a Dr. Anita. She said, mine started as soon as I signed up. I'm telling you guys. So those of you, if you have not joined us in the Favor of God Challenge, go ahead and join us in the Favor of God Challenge. I'm excited. That's all I got to say. I am excited on what it is and how it is that God is getting ready to show up. That he's already showing up, and we're just stepping in alignment with what he's already doing. Okay. All right, you guys. So that is all that I have. So if you're interested in anything that I talked about, so whether or not it's joining us live in Atlanta on June 27th for the Coaches Work Day, whether or not it is the Entrepreneur Candle Collection or the Favor of God Challenge, or even that one-on-one session with me, just shoot me a message and we can have a conversation about how it is that I may be able to support you. Okay. All right, you guys, that is all that I have. I pray you guys have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. Keep an eye out on my pages, because once again, for the next few weeks, or for the next couple of months, actually, I'm just going to show up in the way that God is calling me to show up in the marketplace. And I'm just super excited about what he's getting ready to do. Okay. All right, you guys, I pray you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. I will see you guys on the other side of this live, you guys.